Nothing seems to be going well for the Zionist and the Israeli lobby in the US. Remember how I reported earlier this week about prominent voices from America's conservatives such as Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, and Marjorie Taylor Greene waging a war on the illegal settler colony of Israel and its American stooges in the Congress and the Senate. Now, another prominent name from America's right, Megyn Kelly, has dropped an atom bomb of sorts by releasing a video clip of Charlie Kirk asking Tucker Carlson to go all the way in exposing the illegal settler colony of Israel and its war criminals. This is the final nail in the coffin for the Zionist propaganda machinery in the US, which has fooled American taxpayers for decades with their lies. These Zionist thieves have also sucked billions of dollars from the US taxpayers and dragged America to several illegal wars in the region. Charlie Kirk was beginning to see the reality about the Israeli bloodthirsty terrorists when he was murdered under suspicious circumstances. Many, including Candace Owens, suspected an Israeli hand in Charlie Kirk's brutal assassination on American soil.
Ladies and gentlemen, there were, for whatever reason, 12 Israeli cell phones on the ground at Utah Valley University the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This has completely spooked the people that are very high up in government. Now, to be clear, I don't mean that there were 12 VPNs that were switched and routed through Israel on that day. I mean that there were 12 personal cell phone accounts that were opened in Israel, okay? Like you go into Verizon in Tennessee or in Connecticut and you open your phone. I am saying that they opened their phones in Israel, those accounts in Israel, and they were on the ground on September 10th at Utah Valley University when Charlie was shot. Now, the NSA knows this. Kash Patel knows this. People in the current administration know this.
War criminal wanted by the International Criminal Court, Benjamin Netanyahu, had posted not one, but two social media posts within seconds of Charlie Kirk's assassination, claiming his good relationship with him. This was despite Charlie exposing the Israel's genocidal campaign and ethnic cleansing of Gaza.
I gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Yep. I mean, I don't use that term lightly, okay?
Before Charlie Kirk was killed, he said Charlie Kirk fears that Israel will kill him if he continues ahead, providing space for Israel critics.
Charlie kind of starting to question the amount of influence that Israel has in U.S., not only domestic politics, but foreign politics as well.
I just don't think we should go to war with Iran. Is a nuclear weapon Iran a threat to America? Probably. Could be. It's a threat to Israel, but is it a threat to America? I mean, India has nuclear weapons. Pakistan has nuclear weapons.
But he's one of the only people to go to the Oval Office and say, sir, I totally understand, but a war with Iran could really hurt our country. He took massive abuse from his own donors. And they expressed it to him in a very intense way. I know because he showed me.
He's talking about October 7th possibly being an inside job.
I still have the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe.
Israeli stooges in the US politics, compromised by AIPAC money, kept spreading lies about Charlie Kirk, claiming that he was a friend of Israel. This coincided with a phenomenal rise in angry voices within the Republican fold against Israel and how it had acted as a parasite on Americans for decades. You can watch my video on this topic here. In that video, I had also talked about the fact that ADL chap Jonathan Greenbelt begging Trump to clip the wings of Carlson, Owens, and Fuentes. But far from going on the defensive, Tucker went public, revealing how Charlie Kirk had urged him not to hold back with his condemnation of Israeli terrorists.
Epstein clearly had contact with Israeli intelligence and American intelligence and French intelligence, but the only one you're not allowed to talk about is Israeli intelligence. But it seemed true to me, and I had done some work on that. I knew a bunch of people pretty close to that story, so I thought that. And I said that to Charlie, and I said, but I'm not going to say that because I don't want to make your donors mad. I know it's just going to be like an endless flurry of text telling you to stop or you're going to lose a bunch of funding. And he looked at me, I'll never forget it, and said, go all the way. Do it. go all the way. I said, man, a lot of things I can talk about. I don't need to talk about that. And he said, do it.
Even before Israeli war criminals could cast doubt on Carlson's claims about Charlie Kirk, Megyn Kelly today released a damning video of Charlie repeating exactly the same words when all three came together at an event of young American conservatives. This is nothing less than an atom bomb. This is like Megyn Kelly nuking Israeli propaganda machinery with a small video clip.
And here's the thing, Stu. I was recently going through some old pictures to find one of me and Charlie that I knew we took at that event. And not only did I find pictures of me and Charlie, but I found a video of me, Tucker, and Charlie speaking backstage right before Tucker went out. Tucker and I were talking. Charlie came over and interrupted for just a second. And you can hear him on this tape, which I've listened to many times. It's very clear on my phone, less clear here probably as we play it. But he says to Tucker, go Max. He interrupts the conversation because he has to say to Tucker something. And what was so important to him to tell Tucker was, go Max. Here it is.
Go Max. Come on. Okay.
It's quick. It just happens to be on tape. And it backs up what Tucker said.
Why is this important? Charlie Kirk was hugely popular among young Republicans. Donald Trump realized Charlie Kirk's phenomenal popularity amongst the youth. No wonder he had granted Kirk unparalleled access to the White House. Many felt that Kirk was also being groomed to be the future presidential candidate for the Republicans, given that he was beginning to become quite hostile to the Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza and the rogue settler colonies' inhuman policies in general. This prompted many to conclude that Netanyahu and Mossad could have been behind his assassination. Although Netanyahu had to release a clarification video denying Israeli hand in Kirk's assassination, this was widely viewed as another proof of Netanyahu's guilty conscience. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, and Megyn Kelly have a combined audience reach that exceeds hundreds of millions. Their vocal stance against the rogue settler colonies' inhuman policies and their American stooges have given courage to others from within America's conservatives to shed their inhibitions and openly criticize Israel. Listen to this influencer from America's right. He uses his social media identity as Vrillium and describes himself as a woke right super soldier from Jersey. Watch him destroy this Ben Chaperon guy.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America.
Hold on. I don't deserve to live where I grew up. I don't have the right to live where I grew up. But Ben and his kind, they have a right to live in Jerusalem, and I have to pay for it. This is why you're losing your market share to people like us, Ben. And I want you to know this. We're not just coming for your viewership. We're coming for all of it. We're gonna eat your entire market share. I'm not done making videos. I'm not done making clips. I'm not done making posts until there is nothing left of the Daily Wire. This is my home. You can keep your 50-year mortgage. You can keep your fake fucking money. This is my home. Are you willing to die for your house in the Hamptons, Ben? Are you willing to die for your apartment in Manhattan? Because guess what? I am. So yes, Ben, I do have a right to live where I was born. Just like I have a right to say, under the First Amendment, a godly ordained right that was written into paper by men like me, by my ancestors, while yours were running away from Cossacks in Ukraine, that says I can look right into this camera and say to you, Ben Shapiro, F you.
Last week it was Nick Fuentes who called Ben Chaperon a small man, a little man, and this week it's Vrillium. Clearly, Israeli thieves are fast realizing that they would find it increasingly difficult to hide in America from young Americans who have had enough of these barbarians and baby killers. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.